What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Homegrown Career Mode. This is episode number 17, and we start today's episode with a quick look at the league table. As you can see, we're in 13th place with 7 games to go, 39 points on the board. We're 13 points clear of Huddersfield Town in 18th place. The fact is we're not getting relegated this season. However, our bad form recently has been well documented. No wins in our last 7 games. Our last win came against Huddersfield Town in the FA Cup 5th round, and our last win in the Premier League came against bottom of the table Cardiff City at the start of February last month. So we've been in really poor form of late. Nothing's been going our way. We've not even been scoring that many goals in recent weeks either. So we're really struggling to put the ball in the back of the net. Really struggling to get wins together. So for our first game today, we took on Brighton Hove Albion away from home. Second season in the Premier League for Brighton. They're in 8th place now. They're doing really well. And they're only 7 points off Spurs in 4th place. They've still got a chance at qualifying for Europe for next season. But for us, we know now qualification in the Europa League and the Premier League is basically done. We still got something to play for though towards the end of the season. We still got the FA Cup semi-final to come, and of course we're playing for pride as well. So into the game, decided to make a change to our formation. Went to a 4-3-3 as opposed to the 4-4-2 we've been using for the most part of the season. And instantly in this game, we just seemed like a different team. We started the game off really well. 10 minutes in, Ryan Birch on our left-hand side, feeding Nathan Redmond, one of our players of the season this year. Got in behind Martin Montoya, beat the right for pace, cut past Lewis Dunk as well, put him on the floor, but Redmond could not hit the target. And we've created some really good chances in this poor run of form, but the finishing just hasn't been there, and I don't know what's happened to us. We just can't put the ball in the back of the net lately and can't seem to find the goals we need to get the wins. But in the 34th minute, we were still playing well, looking a better team in the first half, and again it was Redmond the danger man rolling it into Theo Walcott. The pair played a 1-2 down his left hand side. Once again Redmond in behind the back line, feeds it into Theo, and whilst Nathan couldn't finish, we know that Theo can, and Walcott gave us the lead with 9 minutes to go. Finally broke our barren goal drought and gave us the advantage which we definitely deserved. Redmond with the assist, Walcott with the goal. Not too sure about the celebration, but Walcott this season, I mean, what a signing he's been in January. You know, with our options being limited in the transfer market, we could have waited until next season to bring Theo in. I'm so glad we pulled the trigger mid-season, because Walcott, as he pulls the trigger there, makes it 1-0. He's been fantastic. 7 goals for Everton and the Saints this season combined. And already this season, he's only had 2 months worth of football here, but he's looking like our player of the season. He's been that good. So Brighton 0, Southampton 1, Walcott with a goal, and Brighton almost responded just for the break. Elkson going for goal, finding it wide at the post as it was still 1-0. We had a slightly better team in the first half, and in the second half we were still looking on top and looking the better team as Ward-Prowse played a brilliant ball over the top to Martin. He took it in his stride, ran in behind the back line, and Jeremy Martin, this kid is a star. Makes it 2-0 to Southampton, gets his 4th goal of the year in all competitions, 3rd goal in the Premier League. He's only 16 or possibly 17 years old now, Martin, but this teenage talent is the brightest prospect out of the Southampton Academy. He's got the potential to be special, he's got the 4-star skills, we're training his pace, we're training all his stats right now, and he's looking the real deal. And what I like about Martin as well is that he's got the stats, but he's got the composure as well. He's got the composure for a young talent to really assert himself as one of the best in this league. Makes it 2-0. The Frenchman puts us 2 goals to good, and I was thinking, finally, we might be on course for our first win after none in our last 7 in all competitions. But right from kickoff, Brighton went down the right-hand side, and what a surprise they would score a goal from across. Elkson whips it in, Aquino gets on the end of it and heads it past Angus Gunn into the back of the net. I said this on Twitter a week ago, and I'll say it once again, crosses in this year's FIFA, how would you defend them? I genuinely don't know how you stop goals from crosses. It's unbelievable. We were still leading by a goal though with 4 minutes to go. Brighton only had that 1 chance as we were still up by a goal. We had a free kick here right at the edge of the area. Andrew Stern just came off the bench, was standing over it, but I gave it to the Ox because he had the shot power, and I tried something different for this free kick. I tried to drill it in with the L1 circle to where the crowd of bodies was, and as you can see, it resulted in a goal. Because if crosses this year are so OP, they'll always result in goals. Doesn't matter how you whip the balls in, they're just going to keep on finding the back of the net. So Chamberlain just whips it, drills it I should say, towards where the crowd of bodies is. Sermon, who just came off the bench, scores his first touch of the game for his first goal of the season, just nods it in, uses the pace on the ball to guide it into the bottom corner, makes it 3-1, restores our 2-goal cushion, and as you can see, that is how the game finished, because we had one final chance here in stoppage time. Nice build up as Sermon found Harrison Reed has done a great game in this one, stepping in to play defensive midfield, rolled it through to Sam Gallagher off the bench, and I tried to dink it over Ryan into the back of the net, landed on the roof of the net. Terrible attempt, but either way, it didn't really matter because that's how the game finished. Final score, Brighton 1, Southampton 3. We get the job job done at the Emirates, and finally, it's our first win of the month, our first win in the Premier League since the game against Cardiff in the 9th of February. A big 3 points, a pressure-relieving 3 points, and you can see what it means to me as I shake the hand of Chris Hughton there as well. And we definitely deserve to win as well. We played a better football, we looked a better team out there, we were the better team, and we deserved to get the win. But for Martin, once again, this kid, he's the star. You know, he is being one of the brightest points of what was otherwise being quite an inconsistent season. You know, this year we've had quite a lot of negative things to deal with, but Martin has been consistently good in all the games he's played, and he's 68 overall right now. He's getting the training alongside Cook as well. It's his pace that concerns me more than anything, because so often when you get players out of the academy, regardless of what position they are, they're quite slow to begin with. It's very hard, or at least in my opinion, to find players that are really quick out of the academy. I don't know why that is, but if we can train that sprint speed up and get this guy to be pacey as well as technically really good too, there's no limit to his potential. Let's just say that. So yeah, Marty man of the match, and Southampton finally getting a win. But following that, we had our final scouting updates from our scouts based in France, England and Belgium. We released a couple of players from our academy as our youth squad was full when I tried to give a few contracts, and as you can see, we also take a lead the academy in just a moment's time as well. We still have a really stacked academy, and there are a couple of players who you've seen just a moment's time that are the headlines, and they're both French talents. You've got Cedric Andrial, who's a goalkeeper who looks fantastic, and Thomas Blondal, who you've also seen as well, who's a right midfielder, French talent who's only 15 years old. Those are the standouts right now, but there's a lot of players in here that I'm wondering whether they're going to be well beaters or just turn out to be average players. A lot of which have got great potential, some of which have really poor overalls, but again, these are the two main ones. Cedric Andrial, 65 overall, 94 potential. Looking forward to promoting him coming the end of the season. And also Thomas Blondal, 15 years old, he's surely the star. 62 overall, 91 potential, already got some really good technical stats as well. Those two are the key players in our academy right now to watch out for in season 2. But I don't know where we're going to send the scouts out to next. Obviously, we send our scouts out on 9-month missions at the start of each year. I don't know where we're going to send our scouts out to next. I quite like doing Belgium and France and England as a trio, but I think we'll do England again because I like to send scouts out to the same nations the club I'm managing, but I don't know what other two nations to go with. I like to vary it up, but I'm not sure who to go with. I'm thinking about going to Scotland and to Ireland and keeping it around where we are currently located right now, but I'm also thinking maybe we should go like really further afield, maybe to Asia, for example, or to Oceania, or maybe to America. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But for now, our scouts have done a decent job. Our academy's looking good, and already a couple of great players, great prospects, should say, in our first team right now, including Martin and, of course, Cook as well. But for the second and final game of today's episode, we take on Liverpool right now, sitting in 8th place in the Premier League, taking them on here at St Mary's on the back of that victory. And what starts this game as well, because just 3 minutes in, we will take the lead, and it was James Ward-Prowse who gave us the goal. Obviously missed that penalty away at Old Trafford in the last episode. Missed a penalty in the FA Cup quarter-final against Arsenal in the shootout as well. But I've got so much faith in this man. He's worn the captain's armband more than any other player this season. I see him as a leader of this Southampton homegrown team, and he makes it 1-0 3.5 minutes in. Ran to me to celebrate with me, to repay me for the faith I've been showing him. And what a goal it was as well. Takes it out of his stride, rifles into the top corner, and gives us the early lead inside the first 5 minutes. And of course, this season we took on Liverpool in the reverse fixture away at Anfield earlier on in the campaign. We won the game by 2-1 coming from behind, so I was feeling pretty confident in this game here at St Mary's, and we were playing some really good football in the first half as well. Another good move here, saw us going on around outside Chamberlain, who crossed the ball into the middle, and again it was Ward-Prowse, the danger man, getting on the end of it but heading it over the bar after it clipped the top of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. But the threat of crosses was still evident, as it is in every game I play against the AI. That ball into the centre there was unconvincingly dealt with by Gunn and eventually turned behind into the side netting, as it was still 1-0 at the break. We had played slightly better, or so I'd felt, but in the second half I really wanted a 2-goal cushion. We had a great chance as well with Redmond down the right hand side, beating Kyle Walker-Peters for pace, crossing it to the back stick. Lallana set himself and really should have made it 2-0 and scored against his former team. How I missed the target from there, I do not know, as we were still leading by a goal. Now 12 minutes to go, Liverpool to capitalise on that error and make it 1-1. Salah once again, the crosses in this game so hard to stop, whipping it to the far post, but Fabinho denied by Angus Gunn to the near post, as it was still 1-0. And the final chance fell late on, Wijnaldum's shot going over the bar and behind for a goal kick, and that was how the game would finish at St Mary's. Back-to-back victories for the Saints in for the first time in such a long time. 1-0 to score, great to get a clean sheet as well for Angus Gunn, and a big 3 points as we get back-to-back victories. And again, you can see what it means there. You can see what it means. Such a poor run of form, no wins in our last 7, not scoring that many goals, but now back-to-back victories. Look, we're not kidding ourselves. We're not going to make a late run for the Europa League place. That's not going to happen. We are going to finish in mid-table, but as long as we don't finish with a whimper and just end up losing most of our games between now and the end of the season. That's the most important thing. We've still got Stoke City to come in the FA Cup semi-final, with a chance to get to the final. We need to make sure we return to good form if we are to get to the FA Cup final this year and not end up finishing in the bottom half of the table come the end of the season. But that was today's episode of the Homegrown Career Mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Homegrown Career Mode very soon. Bye, guys.